What if your financial struggles are not just about money, but it was actually your poor mental health that was sabotaging your financial well being? Well, we're going to be connecting these dots in our financial freedom video today, so definitely stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, certified financial planner and president and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos. We want to welcome you back to our channel. Well, Carson, today you want to discuss a very important topic that affects millions of Americans and people around the world, and that is poor mental health. But you've also decided how this can also lead to poor financial health.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew, because it may not seem so obvious at first, but your mental health or your poor mental health can absolutely affect your financial well being. And today in our financial freedom video, I am going to be talking about how they influence each other. But before we get into all of that, there are always two rules to retirement income that I like to give you. And Andrea, what are those two rules?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money, and rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our lesson today to talk about how your poor mental health could be affecting your financial well being.
Well, Carson, how does someone poor mental health directly affect their finances?
Yeah, when you're talking about this question here, Andrew, we got to be very careful because we don't want to shame anyone. But when you do have poor mental health, it can absolutely affect your financial decision. Some people who have poor mental health may find themselves overspending as a coping mechanism. If they have anxiety in some areas, they could avoid maybe getting a financial plan, or they can find themselves getting excessively into debt and neglecting that debt as well, which of course can lead them to having bad credit. And that's going to be a trickle down effect because at some point they're going to want to own a home or maybe get a car. And these things here can lead to more mental stress if they find themselves not able or capable of actually being approved for those things. So today, what we're going to do is talk about how your poor mental health and your financial well-being is connected so you can break this cycle and actually get more financial stability in your life. And make sure you stick around to the very end because what I'm going to do is give you some tips on how to reduce your mental stress, which inevitably is going to increase your overall financial wellness as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into our teaching slides so we can really explain how your poor mental health can absolutely affect your financial well being. So, when we're talking about how poor mental health can lead to poor financial health, let's talk about what happens when you do have poor mental health. One of the things that you're going to look at is that when your mental health is struggling, you're going to have things like more stress, you're going to have more anxiety, maybe depression or even burnout can actually come into play. When you also have poor mental health, it's going to have an effect on your decision making ability. You're also going to make maybe poor financial choices as well. So, how can this actually impact your finances? Well, one of the things that you have to consider when you have poor mental health is that you may be susceptible to impulsive spending. And what this means is that when you have emotional struggles like depression or anxiety, it could cause you maybe to go on those erratic shopping sprees and have you spending money just to cope. And of course, you start to create this never ending cycle because those purchases will end up creating even more stress in the long run. And so you create this cycle of feeling down, spending money to feel better, and then feeling even worse again because you've now probably created so much debt in spending money that you did not have. And of course, when you spend money you don't have, this can lead to you getting into credit card debt. And it can also lead to problems with paying your bills. And I think everyone knows what happens when you don't pay your bills, right? Your lights get cut off, the car get repossessed, or maybe you end up in foreclosure with your home. Next is lack of financial planning. When you're dealing with a mental health struggle, it can make it really hard for you to focus on any type of long term planning. And without a clear financial plan, people often end up living paycheck to paycheck. And of course, when you're living from paycheck to paycheck, it's going to mean less security down the road, which again is going to bring on more anxiety for you in the future. Another thing that can happen when you have poor mental health is that it can cause a decrease in productivity and a poor job performance. So, what exactly do I mean by this? So, when you're struggling mentally, it can become very hard to focus and make decisions. It can even be hard for you to get out of bed in the morning. This can lead to you, of course, calling in sick from work. It can also lead to underperformance. And ultimately, it can lead to you losing your job. Obviously, when you lose your job or you're not able to go to work, it's going to put your income at risk, which is going to impact your financial health in the end. But even if you don't lose a job, if you're never at work or you're underperforming, it's going to be harder for you to climb that ladder or ask for promotions later and get raises, which can also impact your financial health. Many studies show that mental health issues are amongst the leading causes of people missing work and decreased productivity. So as I mentioned, for sticking around, I want to give you just a few tips for improving both your mental health and your financial health. The first tip is that you need to practice self care. Taking care of your mental health with things like exercise, meditation, or therapy can help you manage stress and be more productive in all areas of your life, including your finances. Number two is that you need to create a simple budget for yourself. Even when you're struggling mentally, knowing where your money is going can help you reduce your financial anxiety. And a simple budget can also help you stay on track. Number three is that you need to seek professional help. You can't be afraid to reach out for financial advice or mental health support. You need to try to find maybe a counselor in your area or a financial advisor in your area that can help guide you through the tough times that you're going through. And number four, which is probably one of the most important elements that you can do to improve your mental and financial health, and that is to start small. Set really small, achievable goals for yourself. It can be just saving a small amount each month into your savings account to build up an emergency fund. It can also mean just taking a 10-minute break when you're feeling the pressure or if you're starting to feel that anxiety to come over you, just so you can go clear your head. Go outside and take a break and take a walk so you can actually reduce that stress level that you may be experiencing. I can absolutely tell you that small wins can lead to big improvements when it comes to your mental health and your financial health as well.
All right, Carson, so what's the moral of this video?
Well, the moral of this video is that you can absolutely see how your mental health and your financial health are very well connected. And what you want to do is make sure that you try to improve in both of these areas because that is going to lead to a healthier and more balanced financial life. And as always, make sure you do reach out to a certified financial planner in your area who can help you formulate a plan around these types of matters.
After this video, please check out our other videos that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
We have answers. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for an independent fiduciary advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today.